What's up, traders? Welcome back to ACY Group Studio. By the way, I'm Ruffy Capacio, a technical trading analyst here at ACY Securities. I'm also a proprietary trader. My approach is simple, pure price action, a technical analysis, and disciplined risk management. In this live trading session, I'll walk you through my live market analysis and also the high probability setups that we could trade this week. So probably I will be sharing you some setups and also the top markets that we could actually trade this week. And I will be explaining the reasoning behind every setup and show you how I read the charts in real time. And a quick reminder before we begin. This is not a financial advice. This is simply my personal view of the market based on price action and current market structure. Trading always involves risk. There are no guarantees, so make sure you manage your risk properly. Do your own research and never risk money you're not prepared to lose, okay? And also, by the way, guys, I want you guys to trade on your own risk, because all of this is based on my price action analysis and opinion. I want you guys to do your own analysis also. What's up, lab? Welcome back again to this live trading session. Hopefully you are ready to trade this week, because I will be sharing you a lot of banger setups. So hopefully you are ready as well. So what's up, potato? Welcome. And now, get your charts ready and let's get started. So you already know what we're going to start first. Let's look on the news whether there could be any volatilities that could affect the market this London and New York session. So as you can see here, we're currently looking at FinLogix. Now, all we have to focus, maybe we could actually watch this week so that we could know whether there are a lot of high impact news that could potentially have affect the market this week. Now, as you can see, there's only one high impact news that could actually affect the markets today, which is a PMI. Could potentially affect the major pairs, which is the USD pairs that has USD CAD, pairs that has USD currency like NZD USD, USD CAD, USD JPY, all of the pairs that have any USD pairs. And this upcoming Tuesday, only one. Also on the Canadian dollars, Canadian pairs, there is also a high volatility this upcoming Tuesday, probably at New York session. This Thursday would be the most volatility. This would be the most volatility day in the week, because there are a lot of high impact news. And also there is an FOMC, but I'm just showing you this, guys, because news could just act as a catalyst on our setups, and all it could do is it could just give some volatility. We won't actually find some biases whether this news could give us bullish bias or bearish. My strategy only focus on my price action bias, not looking what would happen on the fundamental side. That's it. And for Friday, again, there is an employment rate on Canadian dollars, probably could also again gain some volatility on Friday on Canadian dollars. But all we have to focus is today. Now, so you can see here, there is only one high impact news on the major pairs, which is the pairs that have USD pairs. But this could actually start this upcoming New York session. So what's up, Lebang? Welcome back to this live reading session. Now that is actually, I want you guys to actually do. You could actually give me pairs, and we could just actually do that pairs, because I know I only ask one pairs for each viewers. But yeah, you're the only one who's asking first. Probably we could actually do it. Why not, right? Now, your pairs have a lot of USD. Probably we could actually look that, because USD pairs could have high volatility this upcoming New York session because there is upcoming high impact news, which is a PMI, could happen this upcoming New York session. So yeah, without further ado, let's start looking our charts. Now, as you can see here, we're currently watching gold. Currently, we are at the daily chart. Now, let's look first on the weekly chart. Okay. Now, as you can see here on the weekly chart, it is actually now creating a potential lower low. Now, price is at a potential lower high. What would happen next? Laugh. What would potentially happen next? Lebang. What would potentially happen next? Potato. Potential lower high for it to have a massive push. You already knew that bearish structure, right? Creates this kind of structure. Lower high, lower low, lower high, potential lower high, lower low. For it to continue, potential lower high needs to be created for it to have a massive push. Clearly, the market trend on the weekly chart is still bearish. Okay? Weekly is still in a bearish trend. Now, all we have to know is where we at currently. We are at a potential lower high currently. This is actually forming. We are currently here. We are currently here. Now we already knew that we actually know where we at currently. Therefore, we already know where we should place our selling opportunities or where we should place our buying opportunities. Okay, lower high is already forming at the higher time frame. We already know that the trend at the higher time frame is bearish. Okay, now looking at the daily chart, this looks interesting. Why? Because we are currently retesting the strong daily resistance level. Why I actually plotted this as daily resistance? Because all I did is to look on the left. Because previously here, price reacted here right after it broke the support level. It reacted as a resistance. Now watch how it moves, right? It massively pulls to the downside. Maybe we could actually replace so that you could actually see how it plays out. Before, it acted as support because price is above, right? You can clearly see here. Price is above, but right after it break out, price is below. Therefore, this is acting now as a resistance, right? Now look what happened. Break, retest, massive push to the downside. Now currently, price approaching back. Still, price is below. We are currently watching at a daily chart. This is a daily resistance level. Because if you actually look left, there are reaction. Here, you can actually see right after price approaches here, reject, acted as a resistance because price is below. It broke out. Price is above. It reacted twice here. Support, massive push to the upside. Currently, looking at it on the current price action, this is the current price. Price is below. Therefore, it is acting as a resistance zone. So therefore, this is not in a coincidence that it is actually retesting at the resistance zone, and also price is at a potential lower high structure at the weekly chart, right? It is not a coincidence. That is just how the market moves. Okay? Now, I still clearly see this as a bearish market structure because price creating a lower low, lower high, lower low. I know there is a structure here, but it did not break this lower low structure. It's still a structure inside a bearish trend. It is now creating a potential lower high structure at the daily chart. Probably, it is not a coincidence that on the daily chart, it is also creating a potential lower high. At the weekly chart, it's the same. It is also creating a potential lower high structure. Right? So, by the way, Libang, we can actually do the pairs that you actually asked after I'm done sharing my pairs for this week. Okay? So, now looking at it on the daily chart, it is already approaches our daily resistance level. All we have to do is to look on the lower time frame. You can actually see here, right after this very massive bearish engulfing created at our resistance level, it is actually having its massive push, right? You can clearly see. And also on the 4-hour chart, massive bearish engulfing candlestick. Look what happened. Massive continuation push. Now all we have to do is to wait for it, because it's way too far to take trade right exactly here. It's way too far from our resistance level. All we have to do is to wait for it to approach back to our resistance, wait for our exact increase signal, and probably we could catch this trade right here, put our stop loss a few pips above our resistance zone, and probably target this exact area here. By the way, no need to worry. I have posted this on ACY website. You could actually check it out. The link is in the description. It is actually one of my recent market analysis that I posted this week. You could actually check it out so that you could know where are the exact coordinates of my resistance level. So by the way, I posted here on ACY Securities. You can check it out on market analysis. Here, I have posted it that just a forecast, price action forecast gold today, and whether gold could break above the 4,200 to 4,190 resistance zone, whether it could potentially hold or not, right? So yeah, actually currently looking at it, it is actually look good for sales, but we will wait for our exact price action. Probably we could put an alarm here. Once price approaches back, then we could actually catch another sell on gold. So yeah, we have actually a good confirmation, because weekly is bearish, daily is bearish, knowing we are actually taking sells on a bearish market. That is actually good enough. We are also taking sell at a potential lower high, both weekly and daily chart. So therefore, we already knew that once we take sells, we need to take sells at a potential lower high structure, right? Every time we need to take sells here and here, because you already knew once price could create a potential lower high, that will be the last move for the bearish structure for it to have its massive continuation push to the downside. So therefore, we will be anticipating that the price is at a potential lower high right here. And the same at the weekly chart. You could actually see the same, right? It is actually creating a lower high structure both weekly and daily. It is not a coincidence. Both of them is in a bearish trend. Therefore, both of them needs to create those lower high structure. So yeah, all we have to do is to wait for our alarm to actually be triggered, so that we will be taking sell for this one. So yeah, that's it for gold, right? Easy as it is. No need to actually complicate it. And if you want to master how to actually identify market structure, or actually how to identify bullish or bearish trend, all you have to do is to go to ACY website. I have posted a recent educational blog about it, about market structure, a guide to master a strategy that works in any market, the structure of a market trend. Check this blog out, and you could actually master how to identify whether the market is in a bullish or bearish trend. So yeah, currently on gold, probably this would be the last move for it to retest, because you could actually clearly see here all my price action strategy. You already know it, that it is actually based on the previous data, right? Because I have already told you guys that the market will always repetitively happen its movement. It actually repetitively going to actually give you some previous data that it actually have happened before. You could actually see here previously, price broke on this support level. It actually approached this level, created a double bottom, approaches back to this daily resistance level because price is below. It reactively massively, right? You could actually see here. Maybe we could actually turn off this candlestick. You could actually see here, right? Price broke the support level. It created a double bottom pattern, it is actually having its massive push to retest this daily resistance, and it is actually reacting very fast. Here, reacted on this resistance level, massive push to the downside. Now let's copy this exact move towards this exact current price. Now you can clearly see it is actually the same, right? We will just adjust it a little bit. Here, here, here. Now look how it actually looks like. It is actually the same, right? Price is already approaching the level. Now probably the next move could happen, a massive push. Now look on the current price. It is actually the same. We are currently at the pullback to retest this daily resistance. Now look what happened right after it retested here. A massive push. Probably we are just going to copy that exact move because this exact level is the same, right? They're approaching the same level. Therefore, it could potentially happen again. That is how trading works, and that is how the market works. It is just repetitively happening. Some patterns. That is why I want you guys to look on the broader view always. Whether to look on this exact level on the previous data, whether it is happening the same, right? So yeah, I think that's it. That is our setup on gold. We base our price action on market structure, where the market is currently at, right? Because we already knew we have the trend, bearish. Looking at it, both of this trend is already good enough because we are taking sells with the bearish trend. That is already good enough, but we need to actually look on a broader view, whether we actually know where we are selling. We need to know where we are selling because sometimes one of our problems that we actually initiated last previous live trading session, we sold at a potential lower low structure. You already knew that once we are at a potential lower low structure, the next thing could happen is a massive minor bullish retracement for it to create a lower high. So therefore, we are taking a sell at a potential lower low, which is not really ideal because knowing those exact area wick outs, liquidity grabs could potentially happen, or probably hit your hit your stop loss right away because knowing it needs to have this massive bullish retracement. This is one key example here. We are taking sells right exactly at the potential lower low structure at the weekly chart. Now look what happened. Stop us out because it needs to have its minor bullish retracement for it to create a lower high structure here, and probably so that it could have its continuation push to the downside. So that's it. All we have to do is to wait for it to retrace back to our exact resistance level. Look on the lower time frame for our entry signal so that we will be interested in selling gold. So yeah, next is Euro CHF. Now looking at it in Euro CHF, I have posted this on ACY website. You can actually check it out. This is one of my recent market analysis. I have posted this last week ago, probably last Friday, because I know it is already setting up because price already broke on this consolidation zone, the same move as AUD CHF. Now looking at it, it's actually still good. Price have broke this daily support level. Price is below na potentially act as a resistance right now. It is actually good for sales right now. It is already approaching our resistance level. Now all we have to do, because price already approaches our resistance level, all we have to do is to look on a lower time frame, whether in the 30-minute, 1 hour, or 2 hour. All we have to do is to wait for it to engulf any candlesticks, whether this part, or this part. If this engulfs, then probably let's enter this. We'll enter this trade, putting my stop loss a few pips above and target this exact target price that I have plotted. Because this target price, once price approaches this level, it reacted always. Like as you can see here, price reacted on this resistance, it approaches on this level, massive push. Here again, reacted, massive push. The same here, reacted, massive push. That's it. The same anticipation. All we have to do for Euro CHF is to wait for our lower time frame. You could actually see here, EMA indicator is above. You can clearly see. I will still see this, that the 50 EMA indicator is above. Therefore indicating or already automatically giving us a confirmation that the market is clearly in the bearish trend. Also, price is retesting this daily resistance level, indicating that the price is clearly in a bearish trend. You can clearly see here this head and shoulder pattern, indicating that the market is shifting from bullish to bearish trend. Because this is a high probability setup, because we have a lot of confirmation. Because you can clearly see on the weekly chart. On the weekly chart, price has actually rejecting this weekly resistance level. Therefore, we have already rejected this resistance level here, indicating that the market is creating this lower high structure. Therefore, the next move could happen, lower high. Next move could happen is a massive push. Also, on the weekly chart, it is already plotting or creating this potential double top. What would happen if double top is potentially created? Now, you can clearly see here what happened here previously. This is how my price action works, right? Looking on the previous data, you can clearly see here, right after price creating this first top, second top, right after it potentially forms, it is actually having its massive push, right? Because it is actually forming that potential double top pattern. Looking at it on the current price action, it is actually the same. First top, second top is actually been creating. Therefore, the next thing could happen is the massive push, right? All we have to do is to actually know where we at in the market. We are at a potential lower high. Market is clearly in a bearish trend on the weekly chart. Weekly is bearish. We are at a potential lower high also, which is, we already knew that lower high structure is the best area that we could actually take sells. And also looking at the daily chart, daily is already shifting from bullish to bearish trend. EMA indicator is above, retesting daily resistance level. Picasso, right? This is already a Picasso setup. Nothing is actually better than it. Retesting this head and shoulders. All I have to do is to wait for any engulfing candlestick, then I will actually enter this trade. And by the way, guys, I want you to trade on your own risk, because all of it is based on my opinion and experience in the market. And I'll just want you guys to trade on your own risk and never to risk money you're prepared to lose. Only risk your capitals or money that you're actually want to lose in the market. That's it. So yeah, always, once you trade, you need to manage your risk always. And yeah, this is actually a good trade, high probability setup. We are also taking trades with the trend. The only red flag on this currency that I will be taking trade is I'm actually selling at the potential low, at the lowest point of the market. You can actually see here when we zoom out, the market is at the lowest point. That is the only red flag that I'm actually that I could actually see on this currency. So yeah, I think Euro CHF is actually good, and also EUD CHF looks good also. Both of them is actually correlated. I'm actually still holding this trade because I was actually taking this last Thursday ago. By the way, Lebang, we are actually looking now EUD CHF. Both of them is correlated because they have already broke out on this strong consolidation zone right here. This would be the previous weekly, and now price is approaching back on a new consolidation area. because you can clearly see here, I have plotted a strong daily support level. Now price, there are a lot of consolidation zone on this pair. You clearly see this would be the previous consolidation zone. Now right after it broke on this consolidation zone, it approaches again this new consolidation zone. So once price approaches a consolidation zone, what will be the setup? Even though I'm still in this trade, sadly I didn't actually see that there is a strong consolidation zone on this area. You could actually here, you can clearly see price is above, we reacted as a support. Here price is below, resistance, resistance, weak support. There is also a support here. Once price will approach a consolidation zone, the best anticipation that we could do is to wait for the break and retest. Because once we actually wait for the break and retest for a bullish move, we'll be approaching back on this support level. The best thing that we could do here is to wait for it to break and retest this daily support level, so that we could actually pull out on this strong consolidation zone here at the top. Because once we wait for the break and retest on this area, probably we'll be back on this previous consolidation zone. So the best thing that we could do on AUD CHF is to wait for it to break and retest this daily support, so that we'll actually pull out away on this both consolidation zone on this area. So yeah, I think that's it for AUD CHF. Once AUD CHF could have its break and retest on this daily support, the same move could happen in Euro CHF. It could have its massive push to the downside also. Both of them is correlated. They are correlated pairs because both of them has CHF, right? Euro CHF and AUD CHF. The main thing why they are correlated because both of them has CHF currency. Therefore, knowing once AUD CHF could go to the downside, knowing we are betting that CHF currency is getting stronger. So that is why that is the reason why AUD CHF is actually going to the downside, because one pair, which is the CHF pair, is getting stronger. That is the reason why it is actually it is pushing to the downside. And also once CHF is getting stronger on AUD CHF, the same move could happen on Euro CHF. Meaning CHF is getting stronger, therefore CHF is getting stronger likewise on Euro CHF. So yeah, the same move, both of them has the same move, and that is how you could actually see on correlated pairs. So AUD CHF, wait for it to break and retest on this support level. If you're in this trade, I will still be holding this, because we need to stick to our plan. I initiated this trade last week. It did not hit my stop loss or take profit. Therefore, I will set and forget this trade. Once you set your trade, all we have to do is to forget that we are taking trades. That is how I actually do every time I executed my trades. One example is here. Right after it reacted, it is having a massive push. I did not close my trades right here because it did not hit my 1:2.5 risk reward. So no need to close my trades. Once you're in this trade right now, the best thing that you could do is to hold it, whether it could hit your stop loss or take profit. So yeah, I think that's it for AUD CHF. I think the only pairs that we could have is Euro CHF, and also AUD CHF is also good, and gold, right? Because I actually don't have a lot of pairs. I'm actually just waiting for the high probability setup. And also lastly, Euro USD. You could actually catch this trade right now because it is actually having the same move as Euro CHF. We are taking sell at Euro CHF. Then therefore we are also taking sells on Euro USD. Don't mind on this checklist, because both of them is in a bearish trend. Looking at the Euro USD, price has broke on this strong weekly support. price is below, possibly it could now act as a resistance for it to have a continuation trend. Weekly is at a potential lower high. We are currently on this exact structure here. Lower high structure. The next thing could happen, a massive push, right? So we are currently here. Therefore, this is the best area that we could take sales right now. Looking at the daily chart, the same move. Price is at a potential lower high structure. It is also retesting this daily and weekly support. Why I actually plot both of them, there is a daily support and weekly resistance rather and daily resistance. This is actually automatically knowing that this is a strong level because there is a resistance at daily and also there is a resistance level at the weekly chart. So yeah, knowing both Euro USD and Euro CHF is correlated. Why both of them has correlated? Because both of them has Euro pair. Knowing that Euro is actually getting weaker, that is why it is actually pushing to the downside. This is how the concept once you are trading Forex, Euro USD, and Euro CHF, so that you can actually better understand how it works. Okay, Euro USD and Euro CHF. Once we are taking buys on Euro USD, we are betting that Euro could get stronger and USD could get weaker. Okay. Once we are buying on a Euro USD pair, we are betting that Euro could get stronger and USD could get weaker. On Euro CHF, once we take sells, we are betting that CHF could get stronger and Euro CHF could get weaker. Once we are taking sells on Euro CHF, we are betting that Euro CHF CHF could get stronger, Euro could get weaker. That is why once we buy, once Euro could get stronger, it actually makes the market go to the upside. That is why it is the reason why the market is pushing to the upside, because Euro pair is actually getting stronger than USD pair. Once Euro CHF could actually go to the downside, it means that CHF is getting stronger, right? Therefore, we are interested in selling both pairs, right? We are selling Euro USD and Euro CHF. What will be the reason here? It means we are betting against Euro. We are taking sell on Euro CHF. Therefore, we are betting that CHF is getting stronger. We are selling on Euro USD. We are betting that USD could get stronger than Euro pair, a Euro currency. So therefore, knowing we are betting against Euro pairs, therefore knowing that both Euro pairs is getting weaker. That is why it is the reason why both of them is going to the downside. So that is why it is correlated. That is how correlated pairs works. Okay? Hopefully you actually understand much better on how or why you are trading Forex. So yeah, that will be a good setup on Euro USD, knowing that we are taking sales also on Euro CHF. All we have to do is to look for any engulfing candlesticks. I actually take this trade early pre-London because it gives me this candlestick confirmation. And probably you could actually enter right now because this 4-hour candlestick has already created this massive bearish engulfing candlestick. You could actually catch this trade right now, put your stop loss a few pips above, and target the same target price, probably catch a 1:2 risk reward. So yeah, you could actually catch this trade right now but we actually don't know what will be the outcome. All we had is the probability that it could potentially happen again. Because once we look left on this exact level, let's look on the left on what's happening here. You can clearly see here, right? Every time price approaches this level, it actually rejects here. It rejects twice, push to the downside, right? The same move as here. Price approaches this level, rejected. Price approaches again, rejected. The same, what would happen, what happened here on the previous, on the actually most previous data. This is actually happened last 2022. You could actually clearly see price approaches the resistance level, massive push to the downside. Price approaches back again to the daily and weekly resistance level. It reacted twice, massive push to the downside. All we had to do is to go back to our exact current price. This is the current price right now on EUR USD, and we are currently at a daily chart. Price broke on this daily and support level. Price is below. Price reacted first, push to the downside. Possibly the next retest, the next could potentially happen rejection. Because every time price react twice, it is having its massive push, right? React twice, push to the downside. React twice, push to the downside. React twice, push to the downside. Market is repetitively happening. That is why you need to look on the broader view, and that is how my price action works. So yeah, now I think let's check on the pairs that you actually requested, Libang. Now, the first is USD CHF. The bad thing here on USD CHF is because we are taking sells on Euro CHF and AUD CHF, right? The bad thing here on AUD CHF is I'm interested in buying this pair. Probably this is actually setting up by next week, but we need much better on to actually lean on the price action rather than on correlated. Because sometimes price is actually setting up. USD CHF, we are looking for buys. AUD CHF, we are taking sells. Even though both of them is correlated. But the main thing here is to actually focus on the price action itself rather than watching whether the currency is correlated or not. Because both of them would actually move not actually the same, but probably the best thing that you could do is to trust on the price action itself. Even though both of them is correlated, you need to actually focus on whether it actually looks good or not, or whether it gives you confirmation or not. If USD CHF could give me the confirmation first and also it actually looked good for buys, then I will be betting against CHF pairs, right? Because you could actually see here, I will be interested in buys on USD CHF. Why? Because previously, you could actually see here, there is a strong daily and weekly resistance level here. We are currently at the weekly chart. There is a EMA indicator above, right? Therefore, it is actually confirming previously last 2 weeks, 3 weeks ago, that price is clearly in a bearish trend. But looking at it on the current price action on the weekly chart, price actually having its move. You clearly see here, price is having its move, broke this strong weekly and daily resistance level. EMA indicator is below at the weekly chart, therefore indicating price is currently at the bullish trend. If you want to master how 50 EMA indicator works, you could actually read this blog. It is about how to trade using EMA indicator with price action analysis. Now let me explain on why it is actually why USD CHF is already shifting from bullish to bearish trend. Now in an uptrend scenario, this is how it actually works. Once a EMA or a 50 EMA indicator is below, that already automatically gives you an indicator that the market is clearly in an uptrend or in a bullish trend. In a downtrend scenario, this is how it actually looks like. Once EM indicator is above the price action itself. You can clearly see it is moving above, right? Price action is moving below. Therefore, automatically indicating that the market is clearly in a bearish trend. Looking at it on the current price action on USD CHF, price is actually moving above it, right? Therefore, indicating the market is clearly in a bullish. There is a strong daily and weekly support level. It actually acted as a resistance previously, but price broke out. Next thing could happen, retest, massive push to the downside. The same repetitive move that always happen in the market, the break and retest. Right? You can clearly see here, price is also retesting this head and shoulder pattern. It is actually retesting the neckline, indicating that the market is shifting from bearish to bullish. A lot of bullish confirmation. That is why on USD CHF, I will be leaning on buying this pair. Even though it is correlated with AUD CHF, because both of them has CHF pairs, therefore I will be focusing much on the price action, because you will be confused of this. Because both of them is CHF, why not take sells on USD CHF also? Now, why are you taking sells even though the price action itself giving you an exact confirmation that it is good for buys, right? So yeah, weekly chart, it is at a potential higher low. You already knew that the bullish trend will always create a higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high structure, right? The best area that we could take buys is at a potential higher low, because already anticipating every time it needs to create the higher low structure, the next thing could happen is a massive push. Therefore, the massive push, we are anticipating of that. So currently, we are here at a potential higher low. The push still did not happen, but we need to anticipate where we at currently. Here, we are at a potential higher low. It is not a coincidence that it is giving us a confirmation that the EMA is below support, daily and weekly support. We are retesting it. It is not a correlated. That is just how the market works. It is just setting up for buys. Buyers are already defending this area because they are already setting up for it to have a massive push here. It is not a correlated. I am not actually giving the market that you need to go here. It is actually giving us its first hand. That is how price action is one of the best thing that you could actually use in trading. Because the best thing here is the market give its first hand. This is its first hand that it is actually showing us. It is actually showing that it is retesting on our daily support and weekly support. It is also giving us its first hand that the market structure is at a potential higher low, where it is actually good that we could put our buys. Price is also the market is also giving us its first hand, retesting this head and shoulder pattern, indicating that the market is shifting from bearish to bullish. How great it is, right? It is actually, this setup is Picasso USD CHF. Looking at the daily chart, we are already done at the higher time frame, knowing that the market is clearly in a bullish trend. Now let's look on the daily chart. Daily, the same move as weekly. Broke on this strong daily resistance level. You could actually see here this daily and weekly resistance. It acted as resistance previously, right? You can clearly see on the previous data. Here, price reacted twice. What you thought on NZD/USD? I'm look to short. Yeah, we could actually watch it after this next, because Lebang actually asked first. Then we could actually watch NZD/USD after. Now USD CHF, it is actually have its retest retest of this resistance, right? You can clearly see here. By the way, don't be confused. all of my level is based on the body, not wicks. Wicks are this, bodies where it actually reacted. You can clearly see here, body, reject, retest again in this resistance, daily and weekly, reject, right? Now the same here, rejection, a lot of rejection here. So therefore it reacted as resistance before, validating that these levels are actually well respected. Now here, price broke out. Price is above. Check it likes there are support being rejected on daily. Look closely in here. Yeah, it is actually retesting right now. You can clearly see here it approaches back on this resistance level. Therefore, you could actually look for buys right now. Enter this trade, putting your stop loss a few pips. I'm really considering in taking this trade right now. Probably the best thing that I could do is to put my stop loss below this daily and weekly, because I know it is actually the market is already showing that this is a well-respected area. Then probably the best thing that I could do is to put my stop loss below on this weekly and daily support. So now price approaches our level. All we have to do is to look on the lower time frame. There's no point on taking trades way too far. If we take our trades right now, put our stop loss here, and once price could approach here, it could just hit our stop loss right away. The best thing that we could do is to be patient. That would be an underrated edges of a trader, is just to be patient in a market. A lot of you guys, because you are actually you're actually being FOMO, you're actually missing out. That is why you're forcing your trades. That is why if your thinking would always be like it, you would actually lose a lot of trades in the market. That is why I actually teach you guys to be patient, because this is how my price action works. If you're not being patient, this is not a good strategy that you could use. Because I love this strategy or the price action itself on taking day trades or swing trades, because it will actually test your patience. Sorry, I mean resistance. Now, what do you mean resistance right here? Yeah, there is a resistance level on this exact area on the weekly chart, but I will actually much focus on the higher probability. Because this setup is high probability. Probably that would be a strong check previous rejection on the daily. Yeah, here. Yeah, I could actually see it here. Yeah, I can actually see it here. Here. There is a resistance here. Yeah. Actually, don't actually confuse it too much, Leban, because sometimes if you're actually plotting a lot of resistance here, that it could actually react, that could actually makes you confused. That is why I'm actually teaching you guys to look on the market structure, right? Every market structure creates that higher high, higher low structure, right? Probably this would be the last higher low setup for it to have its massive push. That is why I actually don't care much whether there are resistance level on the left that it could potentially react. All I knew on the higher time frame analysis that this would be the last higher low structure for it to broke those strong daily resistance level. I know there are a lot of reaction here, but all I am thinking is the market structure. Because every time it creates a higher low structure, you can clearly see here. I could give you this example, right? Price create this higher high, higher low structure. Even knowing there is a strong resistance level here, knowing that we are a potential higher low, because every time it creates a potential higher low, it will broke out those previous higher high, right? You can clearly see higher low. Therefore, this will be the last higher low structure move for it to create a new highs. That is why I actually don't care whether there are a strong resistance level. All I have to care is the market structure itself. That is why you need to master how a market structure works. So now it is actually it's actually good for buys. All I have to do for USD CHF is to wait for it to approach back to our support level so that I will be interested in buying this pair. Once price approaches here, wait for our exact confirmation, put our stop loss a few pips below, probably target a 1:2 risk reward. So yeah, I think that's it. Just be patient because it is actually not ideal to actually put our buys here right now. You don't need to be FOMO. All we have to do is to be patient. So yeah, hopefully you actually understand Liban. So yeah, we could actually look NZD USD. Next, we could actually look a little bit on NZD USD. Even though we are only watching one pair every day, but you guys actually requested and I'm really happy to help you guys. So NZD USD. Now let's look on it whether it is actually look good. Now you can clearly see the market is clearly in a bearish trend. Yeah, that is good. You're taking sells, but you need to know where you at currently. Market at the weekly chart is clearly in a bearish trend. Price has broken this previous support level, therefore price is below. Both of daily and weekly level could now act as a resistance. So also, we are at a bearish trend. Price has created its lower low structure, therefore we have a lower low structure now. Price is already having its retracement to retest this weekly and daily resistance level. So therefore, price is here. Price is at a potential lower high structure on NZD USD. Price is here. Price is here. Therefore, every bearish structure needs to create that lower high structure to have a massive push. Therefore, we already knew where we are currently at the higher time frame. So yeah, it is actually good mix. You predicted that it actually looks good for sales. But the real question is it actually ready to take to have its massive push to the downside? I think it is actually not, because it is actually good to take sales right now. The bad thing here is it actually still not reach our daily and weekly resistance. Therefore, it's still way too far here. Right? We need for it to approach our exact resistance level. It is not a coincidence that it is reacting. It is actually approaching this resistance. That is just how the market works. For it to create that lower high structure, it needs to have a strong resistance level for it to create its lower high. Doesn't mean it needs to create that lower high structure every time. It actually needs to have a strong reaction on the exact level for it to create a lower high. So the best thing that we could do on NZD, or the best thing that I could do on NZD, is to wait for it to properly approach our daily and weekly resistance level. Because you can clearly see here on this wick, it did not approach the daily resistance level. It actually have 2 pips away for it to reach our resistance level. Therefore, it is not counted that it is retesting. The best thing that we could do for it to properly retest is the body touch just the level. So yeah, I think that's it for NZD USD. Wait for it to approach the exact weekly and daily resistance so that you can actually take sales. It is actually good because there is a daily and weekly resistance level indicating that this level is well respected. Also on the weekly chart, it is creating a potential last move or lower high structure for it to have a massive push. Yeah? And also, you clearly see here another head and shoulder pattern indicating that the market is clearly shifting from bearish to bullish trend. Adding confirmation. More likely, this pattern is like a toppings or sprinkles towards our setup. It will just give us additional confirmation, giving this setup a high probability setup because there are a lot of probability setup here. Daily and weekly resistance level, the market trend. The first thing that we need to do every analyzing the market is knowing what the market trend is, so that we could actually know whether it is good for buys or sell, right? So therefore, this already knew on NZD/USD, knowing that the market is clearly in the bearish because weekly and daily is in sync. Both of them is in a bearish trend. Therefore, we are actually taking sales with the trend. So yeah, next thing that we could do is to know where we are currently selling at. Yes, we already knew that where we are currently selling at. We are selling at a potential lower high structure, the best area that we could actually take sales, right? Next, is there a weekly and daily resistance level? There is a weekly and daily resistance level here, but it did not properly retest it. We need for it to approach back to our level so that we could take sales here, so that once we take sales here, even price could just actually consolidate. It will just react on this resistance level, holding the price for it to hold the price here so that it could have a massive push. Because every time we take sales at a resistance level, those levels could just hold the price even though it is approaching back again, actually minimizing our stop loss to be hit. But not knowing the price, we don't actually know what will be the outcome. We just need to minimize the wick outs and liquidity grabs. That's it. That is why we need to take sales at a resistance zone, or we need to buy at a support level. That's it. Because once price could just broke our resistance level, therefore it will automatically give us a confirmation that our setup is invalidated. Therefore, it did not respect our levels. It did not respect the head and shoulder pattern. So therefore, automatically our trade is gone. So yeah, that is why putting your exact stop loss is always above at the resistance when we are taking sales, above or a few pips above, or once we buy, we need to put our stop loss always a few pips below. So yeah, that is why we need to follow those exact confirmation. So yeah, it is actually good for buys mix. The only thing here is just to be patient for it to approach the level. No need to worry. I will be posting it on ACY website on market analysis. No need to worry. And also, by the way, guys, if you want to actually understand the deeper insight on how I trade, you can actually join this Discord community. It's actually for free, and I'll be sharing the much deeper insight on how I shared my market analysis, and also sharing a much deeper insight on how I trade the market. All you have to do is to scan this QR code, or actually there no need to worry, there is a link in the description below. Register now so that you could actually know on how I trade the market in a deeper insight. So yeah, I think that's it for NZD/USD. Now lastly, Libang actually requested GBP/USD. Now the same move, AUD/CHF is at a potential lower high structure. The bad thing here is I analyze it. I actually supposed to share this next week because it is actually still cooking up for sell, but I don't think it could happen this week. So yeah, no need to worry, Mix. By the way, Mix, I just want to let you know that just join this live trading session daily, because every time I will be sharing the market updates for the pairs that we are looking every Monday. So yeah, feel free to join. This live trading session could happen every weekdays, and the best thing here is every time the market could approach the levels, you could actually take trades with me. So yeah, now GBP/USD, it's actually good for sell because looking at the weekly chart, price approaches on the weekly resistance level. But the bad thing here is it approaches on this consolidation zone. You can clearly see there is a weekly resistance and daily support. This is a daily support because price is above. Once price approaches this level, it could just potentially consolidate. The best thing that we could do is to actually lean always on the higher time frame. Once the market structure at the higher time frame gives you an indication that it is actually good for buys, like for example, weekly chart is showing us that it is good for sells. Price is clearly in a bearish trend, creating this lower high, lower low, potential lower high structure. Therefore, knowing on the market structure side, we are currently at a potential lower high, right? You already knew to anticipate that the next thing could happen after the lower high structure is the massive push. So therefore, it is actually look good for sells. Therefore, adding this sprinkles to our confirmation, EM indicator is above, acting as a secondary confirmation. Therefore, EM indicator is above, acting as a secondary confirmation, or acting as a secondary resistance level, giving us a confirmation that the market is clearly in a bearish trend, right? But sadly, daily is at a potential consolidation zone. The best thing that we could do on JBP USD, what? Break and retest. That's it. Once price is the consolidation zone, the best thing that we could do is break and retest either way. Break and retest at this weekly resistance zone so that we could take buys, break and retest of this daily support level so that we could actually take sells. So hopefully you are watching Libang. So I think that's it for this live trading session. So yeah, now let's look on Euro CHF. Probably it is actually cooking up right now. Now you can clearly see here a massive bearish engulfing candlestick. Now let's take this trade, putting our stop loss a few pips above, targeting a 1:2 risk reward. Let's take this trade right now. So wait for a second, guys. So you can clearly see here on MT5, I'm still holding, right? AUD CHF still holding. There is it. By the way, guys, I have posted this recent blog on ACY Securities about gold. You can actually check it out. Now, as you can see here on MT5, I'm still initiating this exact price action. Now, probably we could actually take trade on Euro CHF on MT5. By the way, this is just a demo account. By the way, guys, I'm not practicing you guys to actually trade a demo. I want you guys to trade on live. But the main thing here is just to show that we could actually take trades right now. Now, let me actually order 2 lot sides on this one. Sell Euro CHF and another sell. Now, probably we could actually put our stop loss to our exact current price. Probably a few pips above on our resistance level. Here. Now, let's see how this market could play out. Yeah, well, let's see. You could actually see here, right? I have already initiated a trade on Euro CHF. But still, we actually don't know what will be the outcome of this setup. All we had to know is that we had the probability that it could potentially play out or not. So yeah, I think that's it. So probably maybe we could actually place our trade on Euro CHF. By the way, guys, I want you guys to trade on your own risk, and knowing that this is actually based only my opinion and how I trade the market, and I want you guys to do your own analysis also. So yeah, I think this is how we initiate, putting our stop loss a few pips above, targeting a 1:2 risk reward, and let's see how could this trade played out by this upcoming week. Probably this could actually give volatility this upcoming New York session, or this upcoming New York session, because there is an upcoming high impact news, which is the PMI, right? But I actually don't care whether there could be volatility in the market and whether there could be high impact news, NFP. I just really don't care about it, because once my price action gives me my setups, all I have to do is to set and forget. That's it. So yeah, just showing you guys again here, Trade is already initiated. Still holding AUD CHF. Whether it could hit my stop loss or take profit, I don't care. So yeah, I think that's it for today. So yeah, let me share it back again to our setups. Gold, we are testing to our strong resistance level. All we have to do is to look on the lower time frame to approach back on our resistance. Wait for our intersignal here. Once our intersignal is popped up, put our stop loss a few pips above, targeting a 1:3 or 1:4 risk reward. That's it. Just be patient. We actually don't know what will be the outcome of this setup, knowing all we had is the setups, knowing we are selling at a potential lower high structure. At the weekly chart, knowing that EMA indicator is indicating that the market is clearly in a bearish trend. Daily also is retesting this daily resistance. That is the only confirmation that we had. We actually don't know what will be the outcome of this. All we have to do is to wait for our alarm to be triggered. Next is Euro CHF. We are actually taking sales right now on Euro CHF. Still, we don't know what will be the outcome of this trade. All we had is the probability of this confirmation that we had both weekly chart and daily. Daily is below this daily resistance level. You can actually take trades right now. 4 hour has already giving us a good confirmation. And on the 30-minute, you can clearly see that it already gives us a massive bearish engulfing on the 30-minute. Also on the 1 hour chart, you can clearly see here 1 hour chart bearish engulfing candlestick. Entered on that confirmation, putting my stop loss a few pips above, letting it reach my exact target price. You can clearly see EM indicator is still above, potentially could act as a secondary confirmation or secondary resistance zone, and also retesting the strong head and shoulder pattern, indicating the market is already shifting from bearish to bullish trend. We are interested in selling Euro CHF, the same move on Euro USD. Therefore, knowing that Euro USD is actually having its it is actually weakening, but we still don't know what will be the outcome. You can clearly see here on the both weekly and daily chart, it is already retesting the strong weekly resistance. Price is at a potential lower high structure, indicating that the market is already forming its last move for it to have its massive push. JPY, USD CHF is at a potential higher low. All we have to do is to look on the lower time frame to approach back on our support level, wait for our engulfing candlestick or confirmation for us to be interested in buying this pair. Once price approaches our level, target a 1:2 risk reward, and that will be enough or sustainable for our risk reward. So that's it. Wait for it to approach back on the lower time frame. Wait for our exact candlestick confirmation so that we will be interested in buying this pair and hold it towards the upside. Next is AUD CHF. I'm still holding this trade. I don't care whether it could hit my stop loss or take profit. I will still actually base my analysis on the price action. I know, knowing that Euro CHF and AUD CHF is correlated, but knowing even though we are taking buys for USD CHF, all we have to do is to actually base our bias on the price action itself. Therefore, it actually looks good. We could actually add selling opportunities on AUD CHF once price could break this daily support level and break out on this consolidation zone. If you're in this trade with me, or you're still holding this trade since last week, hold your trades until it could hit your stop loss or take profit. And by the way, I will be explaining you guys why you need to hold your stop loss or take profit, and I will be explaining this at the end of this week. Like Friday, I will be explaining why it is important to hold your stop loss or take profit. So yeah, I think that's it for AUD CHF. Just to follow up for MEX, NZD, USD, the best thing that we could do here is to properly retest our weekly and daily resistance level so that we will be interested in selling this pair. So I think that's it for today. So hopefully you actually gain some market insight and market setup that we could catch this upcoming London and New York session. And you can actually see here that we have initiated trades, both Euro CHF and still holding our trades on AUD CHF. Whether it could hit your stop loss or take profit, I don't care. All I have to do is to set and forget. I think that's it for today. So yeah, and if you're serious about improving as a trader and don't have time to analyze the markets every day, you can actually check out our trading cup. So inside our trading cup, a lot of traders or traders actually give their signals, and all you have to do is to copy them. So you'll be able to follow experienced traders and copy trades in real time while learning how trades are managed professionally. It is actually a simple way to stay involved in the market without overcomplicating the process. By the way, the link is at the description below. And if you want guys to actually do your own execution, there are a lot of traders that you could actually copy. All you have to do is to go to Trading Cup, go to Signals, and copy a lot of good traders here. There are a lot of profitable traders that you could actually copy. After that, just copy them and sign up with ACY Securities. And by the way, if you want to start trading using my market analysis, you can just register ACY Securities and start trading right now. So yeah, and by the way, just scan this QR code if you want to join our inclusive Discord community. I will be sharing a much deeper insight on the market analysis side and also on how I trade the markets. Inside this Discord community, you will actually have access on the deeper insight on how I trade the markets, and also you could actually interact with me, ask questions. This is only for the Discord members. That is why this is actually inclusive. That is why you could actually start registering so that you could actually have the access and you could learn the deeper insight on how I trade the market. So yeah. And by the way guys, if you found value in this session, make sure to smash the like button and subscribe so you never miss the daily market outlooks, the live breakdowns, the high probability price action setup that I shared throughout the week. I appreciate you all for being here. Hope you got value from today's live trading session. Stay disciplined, manage your risk, and also all the market insight that I will be sharing, you need to trade on your own risk. And always remember, once price approaches our level, all we have to do is to set and forget. Have a great day. Take care, and I'll see you in the next live trading session. See you guys.